Hey YouTube, and welcome to another tutorial flight with me, Pilot Marky 89. I'm sorry that it's been so long since I did the last video. I have had some problems with my computer and I haven't been able to record my flights. But here we are at rainy Bergen in Norway. We're gonna make a flight from Bergen to Copenhagen. It will take about 1 hour and 20 minutes. So you know the routine. I will show you all the good stuff you need to know about the PMDG 737-800 NGX. And as you can see, I'm flying with the Norwegian texture or livery. So just join me in the cockpit and we will have a great flight together. Okay, so welcome to the cockpit. You can see that it's cold and dark, as I always begin my flights. If you guys have seen my last video, I told you that I'm currently studying to become a real airline pilot. So from now on I will fly from the first officer seat instead of the captain seat. So here we have the first officer seat. I guess you all are familiar with the PMDG. It's a very, very good simulator for Boeing 737-800. Okay, so the first thing, the battery switch to on and the emergency exit lights to on. We need some power in the aircraft because the engines are not started and we don't have the APU running. So I'm gonna start the going to show you here the ground power, so the ground connections, and then set the wheel chocks to set and connect. Now you can see there's the ground power. You can close that down and press ground power. So now we have the power in the aircraft. So now you can see that the screens have illuminated. It says that the aircraft is not fully configured to find where we are, so we need to set the IRSs to nav by clicking the right mouse button twice. Wait till it illuminates or says aligned. There we go. The next one. Okay, great. So it should come up in the FMC in about 30 seconds or so. Enter IRS position. As always, I'm using the FS2 crew, so I'm gonna set that up right now.
Let's start setting up.
Okay. Like so. I'm gonna go down to 24 minutes. So he's gonna go through all the
I'm out for the walk around
stuff. Okay, so now you can see that it says enter IRS position, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. So FMC, pause init page, next page, copy the GPS longitude here, and then paste it. So now you can see the primary flight display and the navigation display lit up. Okay, so where are we? We are at Echo November Bravo Romeo. Like so. And press route. And gonna paste it into origin. And we're gonna fly to Echo Kilo Charlie Hotel. Gonna check. We're gonna take off from runway. See the wind here. We got 115 degrees, 16 knots, and gusts up to 27 knots. So pretty windy today. So we're gonna take off from runway 17. Next page, we're gonna put in the route. So it's Suksum. Must have misspelled that. Success, sorry. There, and then it's M725, and it's Alpha Alpha Lima for Aalborg in Denmark, and then it's Tango 551 at Tesby. And activate and execute. I'm gonna enter the fuel, we will be using about 5.5 tons of fuel. We're gonna check it later if it's good or not. It gives us a general rate of 63.7. We're fully booked, just to make it a little bit more fun. So I'm gonna go to the perf init page and enter 63.7. Reserves, we'll be using 2.2 tons, and the cost index is 1.5. You can see it says flight level 389. It says that because that's the highest flight level we can currently fly on, if we calculate with the weights and everything. But we're gonna fly on flight level 350. The course wind for today will be 193 and 34 knots. The ESA deviation, I believe, I'm just gonna check, just wait 1 second. I'm gonna check the altitude, the elevation of the Bergen, to calculate the ESA deviation. So ESA stands for International Standard Atmosphere. So just gonna check here aerodrome chart. Unfortunately you can't see it, but we'll try to explain. We have an aerodrome elevation of 166 feet. So it will be plus 15, and we have currently, what's the temperature? Plus 7. So we have minus 8. The transition altitude, let's see if I can find it. I need to change chart to be able to find the let's see here. So we go to charts, and then
I'm back from the walk around. Everything looks good.
okay, thank you. So I'm looking at the standard departure charts for Bergen. And I can see here that it's the transition level of 7,000 feet. So enter that there and then execute. We're pretty light, so I'm gonna go with a derated takeoff of 24,000 kilos of thrust, or 25,000 pounds of thrust. So takeoff.
Hey Captain, the agents want to start sending people out. Can we start boarding?
Yes!
Okay, I'll let them know.
So we're gonna set 5 degrees of flaps, and we have a trim of 5.62. Right about there, I believe. I'm gonna take the departure, so runway 17 and Soksum 6 Charlie departure. And route to takeoff, and we have our V1, V2 and VR, or V1, VR and V2 speed. So I'm just gonna enter it right there, and 146 the speed. I will be the pilot flying, so it's flight director on me. And I'm also gonna check the winds. We have 200 degrees and 12 knots at Copenhagen, so the wind needs to turn a lot to change runway. So I'm gonna already enter 22 left, and our last waypoint is Tesby, so it will be Tesby 1 November. Okay, so we're now sorted. You can see we will have approximately 2.5 tons of fuel left when we land, so it will be a great number. So, as I told you earlier, the first officer You can see he's changing here the altitude for the pressure in the cabin. He's going to go up to 35,000 feet. So I'll get back to you guys when it's time for the pre-flight checklist.
Pull up.
So you can hear that the
Wind
first
shear.
officer going
Wind shear.
through
Wind shear. Terrain.
general
Terrain.
positioning
Pull
warning
up.
system.
Sink rate.
You can see I'm
Pull
going
up.
to set the altitude to
Terrain. Pull
7,000.
Don't
And
sink.
we have a runway heading of
Don't sink.
171.
Too low. Terrain.
Put that into
Too
heading.
low. Gear. Too low.
I'm going to
Flaps.
set the course. Our
Too
first
low. Terrain.
waypoint is 109.
Glide slow. Bank angle. Bank angle.
Minimums 500,
Set both course
400.
to 109.
300,
Like so.
200, 100,
And the local
50,
QNH on
40,
Bergen today
30,
is
20,
970.
Wind shear. Wind shear.
970.
Wind shear. Too low. Terrain. Caution.
So-
Terrain. 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 Pull
So
up.
soon he will be ready for the pre-flight, hopefully. You can see here he's doing the pre-flight main, so it's electrical and a little bit more other stuff. You can see 35,000 there, and the air conditioning is on in the cabin for now, so the crew and the passengers can enjoy a cool or maybe a little bit warmer cabin than it is outside. Unfortunately, it looks right now that we won't be having any ATC, but I think that's okay for now, because this, as I said earlier, this is my first flight in about 2 months, so it can be a good thing to check out that everything works probably, and hopefully it will work, but you'll never know. You'll never know with the Flight Simulator X. It can always happen something. So you can see here, oh, the rain has stopped. Looks great. If you guys know, I'm using the airports of Norway scenery for Bergen. We can arm the LNAV. So everything looks good here. And there, it looks great. I know that we can put in like the you can see here, we go to the next page, we can the runway wind. I can actually put in the runway wind. So I can go in here, local area. We have 115 at 21 knots. So I can actually enter that in. So just gonna wait to him till he's ready. So it's 151 and 21 knots. So you can see takeoff speed.
I'm ready for the
deleted.
checklist.
So I need to put it in again. Pre-flight checklist.
Oxygen.
Tested 100%.
Instrument transfer and display switches.
Normal auto.
Window heat.
On.
Pressurization mode selector.
Auto.
Flight instruments.
Checked.
Parking brake.
Set.
Engine start levers.
Cut off.
Double check that, please.
I don't know why it says that.
Pre-flight checklist complete.
So I'm gonna go through the departure brief. NTS will not be required. Are you ready for the departure brief?
I'm ready for the brief.
Okay, we'll be taking off from runway 17 with the Suxo 606 Charlie departure. We will be climbing to flight level 350 today. We have a little bit of wind here on the takeoff, but it's almost in front of us, so I don't think there should be any problems. The weather at Copenhagen looks good. We have a few clouds at 3,100 feet, and we have 200 degrees and 12 knots. Anti-ice will not be required. We will be using flaps 5 and noise abatement procedure 1. Any questions?
No questions.
Departure brief complete. Okay, so we're gonna just press 5 here. We can start the APU.
Hello, Captain. The passenger boarding is complete, and when you're ready, I have a load seat for you.
Okay, thank you.
Have a safe flight.
Okay, so we're gonna start the APU. Start the APU.
Starting APU.
Okay. So APU stands for Auxiliary Power Unit. So it's the engine or exhaust pipe right here. That's an engine. So when we disconnect the ground power, so that we still have power in the aircraft, so we can start the engines. So it will take a little while for the APU to be spooled up. You can see it goes up here. We can actually go down a little bit more. So you can see it's 12 o'clock Zulu time. I think we will be taking off approximately 12:15 or something like that. You can see here this would all soon eliminate. There we go. APU on the bus.
APU going on the bus.
Okay, so now the aircraft is using the APU instead of the ground power unit. So now we are actually burning fuel. So we need to be as effective as we can. So I'm gonna disconnect the ground power unit. There we go. And remove the wheel chocks.
Alright guys, everyone's seated. We're all buttoned up and ready to go in the back.
Okay, thank you.
If you need anything, just let me know.
Yes. Before start procedures.
Check. I'm ready for the checklist.
Okay.
Check.
Before start checklist.
Flight deck door.
Closed and locked.
Fuel.
Set.
Passenger signs.
On.
Windows.
Locked.
Mode control panel.
Speed 146. Heading 171. Altitude 7,000. Altitude 7,000.
Takeoff speeds.
V1 133, VR 137, V2 146.
CDU pre-flight.
Completed.
Rudder and aileron trim.
3 and 0.
Taxi and takeoff briefing.
Completed.
Anti-collision light.
On.
Before start checklist. Complete.
Okay, so we are ready for pushback. Just gonna double check so there's no ATC. No, there's no ATC, so we are ready for pushback. Release the parking brake and begin our push. So we're gonna begin with the number 2 engine. Start sequence is 2 then 1.
Check.
So now we have commenced our and number 2 engine. So I'm gonna put the fuel in right now. Just gonna check so it looks good out here. Everything looks great. When it comes up to 56 N2, it's gonna self go back to off. There we go.
Starter cutout.
Start engine number 1.
Starting number 1.
So it's the same procedure here for engine number 1. Wait till it gets to 25% N2. Set the parking brake. There we go. So you can see the engine is pulling up even more.
Starter cutout.
Okay, so he's just gonna turn the AC to on. Like so. Great. Then continues. Flaps 5.
Check. Takeoff flaps set. I'm ready for the checklist.
Before taxi checklist.
Generators.
On.
Probe heat.
On.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Isolation valves.
Auto.
Engine start switches.
Continuous.
Recall.
Checked.
Auto brake.
RTO.
Engine start levers.
Idle detent.
Flight controls.
Checked.
Ground equipment.
Clear.
Before taxi checklist complete.
Okay, so we are ready. Just gonna put the FS into Charlie mode. I always forget that, but today I won't. Okay, so I'm gonna release the parking brakes. Clear on the left.
We're clear on the right.
Then commence a smooth turn. Select taxi light on. And try to taxi as close as you can to the yellow line. It's a lovely airport. Great scenery. guys here, almost at the center of the line. I'm gonna taxi all the way down here because there's no other aircraft. Speed up a little bit.
Yes. Okay, thanks. Captain, the cabin's secure.
Okay, thank you. Gonna arm the auto throttle. Slow down a little bit, going a little bit too fast. But it's a good number if you don't exceed 13 knots of ground speed. So that's why I'm slowing down a little bit. I wasn't over, but just for safety. We can actually go out here. So try to make the turn less than 11 knots. The full takeoff checklist.
Flaps.
Set.
Stabilizer trim.
5.6 units.
Before takeoff checklist, complete.
It's actually now when the rain has
Cabin
stopped,
crew, take your
a
seats.
lovely day in Bergen. 6 degrees Celsius. So it's pretty good. I told you earlier I will take off in about 12:15. You can see it's 12 and 12, so I'm on time. So we're gonna use the full length of the runway. So we're gonna go all the way back here. And I can see on the on VATSPY, you can't see it, but there's no incoming traffic, so we can just go ahead and roll out to line up and hold. Runway entry procedures.
Check. Clear on the approach.
Check. I'm gonna use it all the way, so I'm not gonna follow the yellow line right now.
Ready to go.
Check. So I know it's a little struggle in the beginning to make a good first turn here when you're flying from the first officer seat. I managed pretty good. We need to turn a little bit more so we can roll down the runway. Okay, so here we go. We are ready for takeoff. Takeoff.
Check.
I'm gonna spool up to 40%, 42%. You see it right here. Toga.
Check.
Here we go. Spooling up to 92.6%.
Thrust set.
Check.
80 knots.
Check.
V1.
Rotate.
Slowly advance.
V2. Positive right.
Gear up.
Gear up. LNAV.
Select speed. Select N1.
N1. Gear up, lights out.
Flaps 2.
Flaps 2.
Select V1. Or the VNAV. That's it. Flaps 1.
Check. Flaps 1.
Set flight level 200. Flaps up.
Flaps up. Flight level 200 set. I'm ready for the checklist.
Off the takeoff checklist.
Engine bleeds. On. Pass. Auto. Landing gear. Up and off. Flaps. Up, no lights. After takeoff checklist. Complete.
Okay, so we are on our way to Copenhagen. You see, we can't see the airport. So you can see we're stable here at the success 6 Charlie departure. Passing flight level or 6,000 feet.
Transition altitude. Altimeter is 1013.
Check. So as soon as we go over flight level 150, I'm gonna turn off the terrain. A little choppy weather,
Check.
a little turbulence. But we can still turn off the passenger sign, the seatbelt sign. Because there's no immediate danger in front of us. So in any second now we'll be commencing our left turn to Maxit. Set flight level 350.
Level 350 set.
Pretty nice view. I think that's the view that you can watch at Airbus 380, I believe, and I know there's other aircraft type as well. You can see that we are in climb mode. So it's 94.2%. The exhaust gas temperatures looks great, and the full fuel flow also looks good. You can see that we're almost 1 ton. We almost lost 1 ton of fuel since we began our taxi. That's pretty incredible. We all have been flying for 5 minutes. I'm gonna turn off the terrain. So I'm gonna leave you right now, and I'll get back to you when we are at our cruise flight level of flight level 350. Okay, so we are now currently at our flight level of 350. Everything looks great. You can see, as I told you earlier about the wind, we have 196 and 35. It's all good. I'm gonna show you on the VetSpy where we are. There we are, and we're gonna go flying down to Copenhagen. So I don't have so much else to say, but I will be back just about 30-40 nautical miles before our top of descent, and I will show you how to configure the aircraft for the descent. So I will see you in about 40 minutes. Okay, so we are closing up to our top of descent. You can see we are 20 nautical miles from our top of descent. I'm gonna hit the descent page. Forecast. Trans level is 55. And we're gonna put in flight level 300, flight level 200, flight level 100. And then we're gonna enter the winds. 202 degrees, 41 knots, and we have 197 degrees, 23 knots, and we have 188 and 18 knots. I'm gonna check the temperature at Copenhagen. Just gonna double check, so we can get the correct ESA deviation. And we have the local QNH of 0990. Like so, and we have 5 degrees, so it will be -10 and QNH 990. Like so, execute. So now we are fully ready for the descent. You can see that we have been flying for now 43 minutes. So I can just check. We will arrive, you can see 27 minutes past 1. So we have about half an hour to go. So it's around 1 hour and 12 minutes of flight time. Everything looks good, and you can see our VREF will be 143 plus 5. So we're gonna go through, just gonna check the decision height at Copenhagen, and then we can go through the descent, or the before the descent. Sorry, the check, I forgot what it's called. Approach brief. And just gonna check here. And we have a decision height of 172. 172. So it will be 200 even. Enter 200. Oh, sorry, wrong knob. There we go. So 200 there, and now we can do. We have the ILS. We have a dry runway, and yes, not required.
Are you ready for the approach brief?
Okay.
Okay, we'll be arriving by the ATC assigned star. As for the approach, we can expect an ILS approach into our destination. Landing runway condition is dry. Anti-ice is not required. Landing flap will be 30. Auto brake will use level 2. Engine blades will be on. Decision height will be 200 feet. Any questions?
No questions.
Approach brief complete.
Okay, so wait for the descent checklist.
I'm ready for the checklist.
Descent checklist.
Pressurization. Landing altitude 0 feet. Recall. Checked. Auto brake. Level 2. Landing data. VREF 143. Minimums 200 feet. Approach briefing completed. Descent checklist complete.
Okay, so that was the descent checklist. So here we're gonna make a left turn when we get to Tesby. And I can actually show you the route. So here we go to Tesby. Down straight into runway 22 left. So as usual, I will get back to you guys when we are approaching flight level 100. Okay, welcome back. You can see that we are flight level 100. The weather has become a little bit more choppy. You can see that we have a 20 knot wind coming from our right. We're almost fully configured for the landing. I'm just going to put in the ILS frequency of the runway. 10950. And the same here, 10950. So now we are going to put in, we're actually going to put in the runway heading. That's 219er. I'm going to put in that course. I don't know why I took this way. 219er. 219er. So I don't know if there are any clouds in the way, but we should be able to see the airport. So we have it here about 2 o'clock. I don't know if maybe now. No. I'm gonna put on the terrain. I know there aren't many big hills or mountains near Copenhagen, but just for show, I'm gonna put it on. We actually have a little hill right there. So everything looks great, but now I'm going to continue with the movie all the way down to the gate, so you can see how I do my landings. So you can see. So then we have some windmills. There's the Öresund Bridge. We should be able to see. Ah, there's the airport. So you can see we are following the flight plan perfectly. We would have been in a little bit of trouble if we had a tailwind, but fortunately we have the wind from the right, so we don't overspeed our approach. So we are soon approaching a flight level 55, so we can change to the QNH 990. There are no inbound traffic for Copenhagen at this time, so we don't have to worry about them.
1,000 to go.
Check. Gonna set down to 3,000 feet. So when we're going down to the transition level, I'm gonna change to approach checklist. See, we're keeping a good speed here. 245 indicated and 267 ground speed.
Yes.
So the cabin is ready.
Okay, thanks. Captain, the cabin's secure.
Okay, thank you.
Transition level.
Approach checklist.
Altimeters 0990.
Set.
Approach checklist complete.
So when we're making this turn, I'm gonna arm the localizer. You can see it says drag required. I'm not going to use that because we're a little bit high, or sorry, we're a little bit low. So it's going to change out by itself. So now we enter the deceleration point. So we're now decelerating. Actually, we can use a little bit of speed brake. So now I'm going to arm the localizer. So now we should slow down, and we are. See, we're a little bit low. Oh, sorry, we are. Yes, we're a little bit low, so the speed is going to go down pretty fast. You can see we have intercept the localizer. Arm approach. Approach. Now we're arming approach, but it will stay armed until around here. So you can see the speed now, so we can put in the speed brake. We can arm the speed brake, like so. You can see it, speed brake armed.
Localizer alive.
Check. So there we have the runway on the left. Flaps 1.
Flaps 1.
So now the speed is going to go
Light
down
slope
even
alive.
further.
Cabin crew, take your seats.
Now he's lining up with the ILS. So you can see the ILS will take place right here. So I can set this to 2,900, and it will still descend under 2,900. Well, we're keeping a good speed. Now you can see that we are on the ILS. It will check descent. Now I can control the speed. Flaps 2.
Flaps 2.
You can see that we don't need the decision height today because I can already see the runway. Flaps 5.
Flaps 5.
2,500.
Slow down a little bit more. So our VREF was 143, 142 plus 5, so 147. Flaps 10.
Flaps 10.
Gear down.
Gear down.
Landing checklist.
Engine starter switches.
Continuous.
Speed brake.
Armed.
Landing gear.
Down.
Standing by for the flaps.
Flaps 15.
Flaps 15.
So now I'm gonna disconnect the autopilot. And I'm actually gonna control the speed as well, just for fun. Flaps 25.
Flaps 25.
Flaps 30.
Flaps 30.
Try to keep it at 147 knots over the threshold.
Flaps 30. Green light. Landing checklist complete.
Check. A little bit high, gonna correct. Everything still looks good. We're drifting a little bit to the right. Speed is good. Let's see if we can line up right here. Then we have the lights.
500 feet.
Continue.
Check.
Slow down a little bit. We are a little bit high.
400.
Doesn't matter.
300.
There we go. That's better.
200.
Landing.
Check. 100.
Good speed.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10. Speed brakes up.
Check.
Reverse green.
Check. Manual braking.
Check. 60 knots.
Check. Okay, so there we are. Pretty good landing, I think. See if we can make this turn here. Yeah, we can. There we go. Okay, to clean up. Actually gonna make a turn here, or continue forward.
Altimeters 0990.
Swap nav 1.
Check.
Swap nav 2.
Check.
Okay guys, so welcome to Copenhagen. So I'm gonna take stand number, I believe Alpha 1-2 today.
APU is online.
APU on the bus.
APU going on the bus.
You can see 1 hour and 15 minutes. We're gonna brake here and turn here, so we can make the slowest or the fastest taxi to our gate. Is there no incoming traffic? No, it all looks good. I'm gonna continue over. Gonna get down all the way down on Alpha and turn left on Yankee. Nice and easy turn. I don't know why they are standing there, so I'm gonna go with a different gate. Actually, I don't know why they are standing there. I'm gonna go with the gate 15 instead. Or we can take it 14. Here will be good.
Check.
Select the taxi light off. Nice and easy turn. Come on a little bit to pull onto the right. Correct that. Okay, now it's looking good. I'll just follow the information on the board in front of us. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna set the parking brake. And the APS,
Cabin crew,
APU is on
disarm
the bus,
slides.
so I'm gonna shut down the engines. 2 and 1.
Check.
Go. Okay.
Ready for shutdown.
So, welcome to Copenhagen. Pretty happy with this flight. So if you have any questions, just leave a comment below. Just now I'm gonna turn off the aircraft. Now you can hear the jetways coming. in a few seconds. We're gonna turn on the
Welcome. Blocks in position.
yes.
Captain, all flights disarmed.
Okay, thank you. So I'm gonna turn on there. And do it like so. Turn off the APU.
APU off.
Oh, you can see. I don't know why it's coming in, or it will fix itself. Yeah, it should be fine. So now we can do the checklist. Shutdown checklist.
Fuel pumps.
Off.
Probe heat.
Off.
Hydraulic panel.
Set.
Flaps.
Up.
Parking brake.
Set.
Engine start levers.
Cut off.
Weather radar.
Off.
Shutdown checklist complete.
Okay, so we're now deboarding.
Thank you for flying with us.
So, I would just like to say thank you for following me on this flight. Hopefully you have enjoyed it as much as I have. And hopefully I will see you soon, and if there is anything you would like to ask me, or if you want to like me to do a typical flight to your destination of favor, just leave a comment below and have a great day. Bye.